books the Muslims have about their books.
Do they argue about the different Qurans that you claim? You said that there were different Qurans. Do the Muslims argue about those different Qurans?
So, in terms of the different recitations of the Quran, most Muslims don't even know that there are different Qurans. They're still walking around saying there's only one Quran. Most Muslims don't know that there's different texts of the Quran in print today.
Sorry, that's
But
wrong.
do those different Qurans teach a different religion? No. I'm not going to argue
Let
that.
me
because
ask you
the
a
evidence
question,
wouldn't
bro.
support that.
Let me ask you a question. Do the translational differences in the different Bibles, do they relate to semantical differences? Yes or no?
In some
So let me give you an example. I don't know a specific scriptural example. I'm not coming from a scriptural point of view. I have never read the Bible. I've never read the Quran. Let me make that perfectly clear. I could read the translation, but yeah.
But that's not the Quran, though, is it?
Alright, fair enough. But what I'm saying to you
So
is
you
this.
can't read the Quran, right?
Not in its original format, no.
But you can't. No, hold on.
I can't because I can't read Arabic. I can't read it in its original format, and there are translations.
This is one of the reasons why I reject Islam. Because we
Yeah,
believe
but
that
can you
our-
read the Bible in its
Why,
original format? Yes or no? Can you read the Bible in its original format? Why not? Why not?
Because, let me answer
No,
that
what you
question.
just said
Oh,
is
right.
nonsensical.
No, it isn't nonsensical.
Let me ask. Let me
don't need
answer.
to.
Let me answer
You
you.
don't know, brother.
Listen.
No, brother. If you're just
Listen.
going to talk, if you're going to ask questions,
You've been talking.
and not talk,
You've been
then
talking.
all that ends up
That's what you've
happening
been doing.
is that
That's
I
what
have
you've
to
been doing.
raise my voice.
That's what you've been
You
doing.
asked a question,
Bro.
The question was.
You can preach if
The
you want. I'm here to
question was,
converse. Allow it,
what
bro.
can you
This guy's
do?
tapped.
Can you read? Can you read the Bible in its original languages? And I said to the brother, you don't have to. The reason why is because as Christians, what we believe is that it is the message that God is communicating with, not the words. Muslims, by contrast, believe that God is speaking in the very words of the Quran, and so you can't read the Quran in English, but you can read the Bible in English, because the message can be faithfully translated.
Thank you. Can I answer you?
You said to me that the different Qurans, they still have the same message.
Yes.
So if the different Qurans still have the same message, then there's no problem.
Right, so let me address that point.
It cannot be
You're
different
absolutely right.
and have the same
If we
message.
restrict the idea of, well, does all these different 10 Qurans deliver the same message, then you're right. There's no problem at all. Except that Muslims don't stop there.
Bro, what you're saying
what
is
Muslims
ridiculous.
say about the Quran is
Bro,
that they
let me
say
tell
that
you.
the Quran
Let me tell you, what you're
has
saying is
never
ridiculous,
been
bro.
changed.
If you translate
That
the Bible,
all the Qurans
Bro, listen.
throughout the whole of history
You know how to listen,
have
bro.
all been the same everywhere. And
Bro,
he's
what do
saying
you mean
that's
make him
true.
finish?
I'm
You've
not
been
lying.
talking,
Yes,
bro.
he's agreeing. I'm not lying.
Yes. You're
But
not
when
lying.
the evidence contradicts that, that's when the problems start. So a fundamental doctrine of Islam contradicts the evidence. By contrast, we Christians say that the message is what God communicates, and so that is why it can be translated, which is why you don't need to be able to read the words of the original language. Muslims, by contrast,
That's
say that
ridiculous,
God
bro.
speaks the words. You can't tell me my religion, bro. You just said you haven't read the Bible.
Can I speak?
You-
That's fine,
Are
that's
you a
fine.
scholar of Christianity?
No.
Right, so you're
No,
telling
I'm
me
not claiming
what-
to be.
Right, so
But am I allowed to speak?
So go on.
Regardless
Go on.
of the fact that I'm not a scholar
Tell
of
me why it's
Christianity,
nonsense.
am I allowed to speak?
Yeah, of course you can.
First and foremost, you're measuring the veracity of your religion against the standard of another religion.
No, you've not followed my argument.
I have followed your argument completely,
No,
and
you
please
haven't.
don't interject until I'm finished.
You haven't.
That's my first point. The second point is this.
By the way, you were interjecting when I was speaking.
Of course, because I
there
was
you go.
making a
So
point
you
and you
can't
started
complain now,
shouting
can
to
you?
the heavens like blah blah
Because
blah.
you was you asked a question and then you
Bro,
interrupted
you've
the
been
answer.
preaching.
But now you
when
don't
I tried
like
to
it when
inter-
someone's
no,
doing
no,
it to
no.
you. It's weird.
Bro, what
You're
you're
interrupting every day.
Exactly.
What are you
Only
talking
those
about?
that
You're talking
interrupt
about
me, bro.
nonsense.
Brother, anyway, listen, let me just say my point. My point is this.
Go on.
Does a translational change relate to a semantical change? Let me qualify that question. When you change the language from Hebrew to Aramaic to Greek to Latin to English, just because you say it's a translation, does that mean that there's not a change in the meaning there? If you translate from Greek to Hebrew, there is a change in the meaning there. You can't try and overlook this and say there's no change in the meaning, it's a direct translation. Some words in certain languages, they can't be directly translated. So how can you say that one version of the Bible is the same as another if it's in a totally different language and the words have different meanings?
So now shall I reply?
So your argument that you're posing towards the Quran, it's applicable towards the Bible as well. You're chasing your tail, bro.
So now, let's see if you'll actually listen to the reply. So the reason why your argument doesn't stack up is because you've stated a truth. And that truth is that some words can't be translated directly. So one example of that is someone who's bilingual. I know Spanish, I know English. The word amiga or the word amigo can't be translated directly. And the reason why it can't be translated directly is because amigo and amiga are gender specific. We don't use language in that way. So when you encounter words that can't be translated directly, like amigo or amiga, you use more words. So we would say, to translate amigo, we would say, if we translated it as closely as we can, we would say boyfriend or girlfriend. But we've got another problem. Boyfriend or girlfriend in English has a cultural aspect to it, which is that if I say boyfriend or girlfriend, I'm speaking of someone that I'm in an intimate relationship with, not someone who is my friend who is a boy or a friend who is a girl.
Yes.
So what we have to do when we translate amiga or amigo into English is we invert the words. We don't say boyfriend, we say friend who's a boy, or a male friend or a female friend, to avoid the cultural reference, which if we back translate girlfriend, boyfriend into Spanish, would be translated as novio or novia. So I've just given you a very clear example of translation in two languages that I'm fluent in.
You've made my own point,
One
bro.
second.
You've made my point.
You're interrupting, and this is why I have to
Did I
raise my
interrupt or
voice.
did I let you
You're
speak?
interrupting
I let you
right
speak.
now.
I let you make
me
your
finish
point.
my point.
Bro, listen.
Let me
This is
finish
how you
my
like to
point.
converse. I will say
Sadly,
thank you very much,
goodbye.
and I'll
Yes,
leave.
goodbye.
Nice
So,
one.
let me finish my point. The brother is saying wrongly that we can apply the argument back to the Bible. But Christians believe about the Bible something different that Muslims believe about their Quran. And this is where his logic falls down. Because Muslims believe that every word of the Quran is literally the words of Allah. So you can't translate that. But Christians believe about the Bible that these are the words of men inspired by God to give the message of God. And so it can be translated. The message can be translated. And so my criticism is valid when it is applied to the Quran, but invalid when it is applied to the Bible, because we don't believe the same things about these books.